Hi there, welcome back to a new video. It is such a dark, gloomy day today, so I'm apologising if this isn't quite as bright as it should be. I am in my vintage Disney journal. Let me just take off my lovely charm so it doesn't clank on the desk. I should have done this before. I've had an idea for a page. I've actually had some photos laid out already. And I'd already picked out this page here. I love the way, are they donkeys? I think they're donkeys. I love the way that they're running around. And I thought it would be so nice to kind of do a feature in the middle and do something on here. I don't feel too precious about this page. I've got quite a few pages where these, you can like see them and I've made features. So I don't plan to do that on every single one. But I did want to do something fun in here, and I thought it would be really fun today doing a page about not wasting things. So I've collected through my supplies and gone through junk bits and pieces that are quite easy for people to waste, and basically just saying don't throw these away, keep them. For example, I've got here a used paper bag. This has been given to me with something in, it's been opened. So this would be handy to use. I may not use everything on this page today, but this is just what I've pulled out. A used envelope, might use that. I have got 3 different clothing tags. These have all come off clothes. These could work out really well. I love the string on these. So they are there. I've got an old Easter card. I am thinking about cutting out some of these images. It's from Aid's mum and dad. Aren't they cute? I don't keep all of my cards, but some cards I just think, oh my gosh, I need to use that. And this was one of them. I think that would be lovely. I've also picked out some old to-do lists. These were from a planning kit I had probably about 7, 8, 9 years ago. I used to have them monthly, and there was one for each day of the month. However, I never used them all, and I've kept them, and I've got a really nice stash. So never throw out your old planning lists. I'm thinking I will use these. I've pulled out some with the greens and that on because they're the kind of colours I'm wanting to go with, sort of like these colours. So I've pulled out some of those to match. And the other thing I never ever waste are my old planner pages. So these are, as you can see, they're dated. I obviously can't use them anymore, but we can kind of cut around things and use them in other ways. I love this edge here, so I'm thinking about using that. I've got an old envelope that's been sent to me. I'm thinking I might use the stamps this time. I've got some very old Amy Tangerine packaging. This was for, I don't know what it was for actually. Oh, here we go. Dimensional stickers. 2011. So that's very old. Got some other old packaging. I had a gift sent to me in this. And I've got another planner page here. So I have actually got quite a lot to play with. All of these would be wasted and thrown away by most normal people. Let's say normal, because we're all very special, I think, in our community here, aren't we? We're like little magpies, finding things to use and not wanting to get rid of anything and keeping everything. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. And I'm very excited because I have no idea how this is going to turn out. And that feeling to me really excites me. So I really hope you'll enjoy this one. So where to start with this one? Let's cut this one out. I was making a collage and I needed an extra one, so I've done a sandwich and a cup of tea because that's got a story with it. But I do 2 there and then 2 over here. Quite like that there. I want to add the colour. I want to bring out the yellows and the orange and the green, but we've got a lot of naturals there as well. So my other thought was to bring in some of these, which I really like. So maybe actually tone down this, maybe even keep some of it and do that. Yeah, I think I might do that. I think it's really interesting when you actually delve into what you've got at home, what is actually considered normal waste to most people, what we can actually use. Things like, would most people think of an old planner or an old diary that they've kind of like used at the end of the year? Would most people think to actually tear out the pages that they haven't used? And even some pages that you have used, there might still be lots of life left in them. If you've got, like, I really love this planner that I have. It's just $14.99. I've had it for absolutely years, from Amazon. But to be honest, I only really use the weekly planning pages, and actually I don't even use those. I just like it open on the monthly calendar each month. I don't tend to use all the lists. I love it. Like, look, things to do. It's got shopping lists and all that kind of thing, but I don't actually use them. If I'm really honest, I do actually use my phone a lot for planning these days, and I sort of like, not so much the planning, but list making, shopping lists and that kind of things. A to-do list, I have a separate list on my desk as well. The other thing I don't like is having to turn pages. So for me, I like my desk planner open, but then I have a separate to-do list. I don't like having to turn a page. That sounds really bad, doesn't it? But that's just the way that my brain functions. So at the end of the year, I've got a lot of life still left in a planner. So that's when, like now, I'm able to use pieces, and I like a pretty planner. I love the artwork, but I've always thrown them away in the past, and it seems such a shame when you've got such beautiful pages like these ones here. So this was the first time actually I've actually sort of like purposely gone at the end of the year and torn a load of pages out. This year I've got the most beautiful planner. It is one that I picked up in a museum shop, and it's American National Parks. It is stunning. The colours are beautiful, so I'm definitely going to get creative with that one. So first up, have a little look at your yearly planner. Do you use one to start with? And have a look through and just have a think about what you can actually use from it, because we're coming towards the year end now. Are you thinking about a new planner? Let me know if you are and what kind of thing you tend to go for. But I'm sure there's lots of things, lots of papers and bits and pieces that you can still use in your planner. There's probably a lot of life still left in it, and bits and pieces that when you really think about it, you don't want to waste. Now, this was a gift. I had a little gift in this package that was sent to me. It was a beautiful stamp from a friend, so I'm thinking I really would like to use this. It's really cute. I love the stitching on the front. I love that. So I'm going to just cut that down a little bit and pop the photo on there. I think that would be really, really handy. And I'm loving the kind of like autumnal theme. Although this was actually, it wasn't autumn, this was spring, but I'm still going with the colours anyway, because in my head I'm thinking autumn, and I'm loving all the autumn colours at the moment. And especially like with the colours on the opposite side of the page, the browns and the reds. I've got sort of like the oranges and that in the photos and the greens. So to me, it's like giving me autumnal feels. Let's use up this old paper bag as well. You can see this one's been used. This one was given to me with some Happy Mail bits. I saw a friend a while ago and she gave me a lovely little bag of bits and pieces. So I kept everything, including the packaging, a bit like this one here, and I'm going to layer that up. I think that looks really, really cute. I'm feeling the layers today. Again, maybe that's the autumn in me, you know, we all layer up. Maybe in my head, that's just the way I'm feeling right now, just full autumn. So it's all the layers, all the colours. That's just what I'm needing right now. So yeah, I decided that we had lots and lots of layers on this page, so that's what I'm going with now. And I do have quite a few photos. I've got the clothing tag there that you saw, and I've popped that into the little craft bit, the little pocket there. And then I've got some packaging here. This was, like I said, from 2011, and it probably was from around that time, because I used to buy things as they came out, as they were released back in the day. And I have kept this for ages because I loved the grid. Love that. And look, it just goes so well. The colours are perfect, so it's definitely, the time is right to use it, don't you think? And the colours all look really good, so yeah, it's definitely a fit for this page, so I'm pleased about that. I'm just having a little think as well about how to place my photos and things like that. I am loving this planner page. It was this wording here that really caught my eye when I was looking through all my bits and pieces today. Make today amazing. And that's what kind of this was all about, and that's what my journaling ended up being about as well. We started the day with a really bad storm in Florida. It was really rainy, really windy, so we completely changed our plans to make the most of the day. We started the day with shopping when we knew the weather would be really bad. Came back, had a little bit of a rest, and then when the rain had stopped, we knew it was due to be sunny again in the afternoon. We headed out in the afternoon. So we had originally planned to have a park day all day, but sometimes you've just got to change your plans in Florida when it's sort of like the weather's playing up a little bit. So we ended up then going for a walk over to one of the resorts in the afternoon. There was a particular cafe that we really, really wanted to go for. It's going to sound really odd, but we were after the tuna sandwich. So this whole afternoon ended up being about a tuna sandwich. Disney do the best tuna sandwiches. They are absolutely amazing. The most filling you would ever get in a sandwich. There it is there. This photo just doesn't do it justice, it really doesn't. So much filling. They make them to order, fresh bread, loads of lettuce, tomato. It's such a good tuna sandwich. And we find sometimes when we're in Florida, we crave normal food. So this was definitely needed. I think it was only actually on about day 3 of our trip, but we were already craving normal food at this stage. So yeah, we purposely went to this cafe. The tuna sandwich has been harder and harder to find. I can't believe I'm here on a journaling video talking about a tuna sandwich. And we used to get them at Typhoon Lagoon, the water park, and then a couple of the resorts had them, but they seem to be stopping them slowly. And we went through all the menus. This is how sad we are. And we found it in a secret cafe in Disney World. There's a little cafe tucked away on a resort, and it's by the golfing course. And so it's not really known, and it's called Chippendale's Cafe. And we went there. There's the photo. I'm going to pop that back on the clothing tag. And we'd seen it before in our previous trip, but we weren't actually hungry. But this time we particularly made an effort to go there. And it's such good value. It works out about £9 for that great big made-to-order sandwich, big bag of crisps, and a beer. So we were happy, and we sat in the sunshine and shared it. And it was just so nice because nobody else was around. Like I said, it's a bit of a hidden secret, this one. So you imagine that, really busy Disney. It was spring break, so really heaving. And there we are in a little cafe tucked away, all on our own. So that's what the journaling is about today. Things like this really mean a lot to us. There you go. You can see the little sign. Welcome to Chippendale's Cafe. It is such a hidden gem. There's only like sandwiches and things on the menu, but it's just really, really nice. Right, let's do something with these clothes tags. I'm going to pop some glue on the back and just use, again, I'm using the planning sheets actually, the to-do lists that I haven't used. I used to buy a monthly kit, you see. Actually, no, it was sent to me. I used to design for them. And every month they sent me, it was Cocoa Daisy. I got sent so much stuff. It was beautiful. But I didn't actually use a to-do list every single day of the month. And there was always 30 odd of them. So I would always have loads left over, and I've kept them. I've never ever got rid of them. And again, look at the artwork on here. Why would somebody get rid of that? It's just so good. So I use the artwork for like adding layers and things, but I'm also using the like plainer papers. I'm backing them onto the tags here to use for journaling, and I do that quite often these days. I just don't want to waste them. They're just too good. So as you can see here, I am popping that on. In case you're wondering what I'm doing with my hands, by the way, I was on one of my Patreon Zooms. I have a crafty community over on Patreon, and twice a month we have a Zoom where we chat with everyone and we craft together, and we were discussing autumn today and different ways that we're journaling, how it has an impact. We did go off topic quite a few times. We started talking about our craft rooms and various other things. It usually happens that we do. But I love our craft Zooms, I really do. They're just so much fun. So I'm going onto the envelope here. Some of my lovely friends send envelopes with loads and loads of stickers and washi and things like this one here. And I would never get rid of them. Most people would bin an envelope, but when you're a crafter, it's just too precious, isn't it? So I'm taking off some of the stickers here. I took the stamps off as well. I'm wondering, when you have stamps like this, do you purposely ask the post office to actually put real stamps on there? Because I'm not being funny, but when I go, I just get the normal ones with the head on. I'd love these kinds. So do you actually have to ask for pretty stamps? I'm wondering if you do, because I think they look so much nicer like this, don't they? I need to find out actually, because I'd quite like to send letters like this. Anyway, I'm going to use the stickers because I don't want to waste them. It seems such a shame to leave them on an envelope like that and not be used. So I'm carefully peeling these off. There's some really good ones, and these are going to feature on the page as well. So pretty much, well, everything actually on this page today has been saved from the bin. Nothing has been wasted. It's all been used. And it feels really, really good. And I'm loving how this layering is looking as well. I'm struggling to get these tiny little bees off. But again, I don't want to waste them. They're just too cute. And even with a little bit of the craft paper showing, I think they still look good. And actually, I think it adds to the charm. So look, isn't this page coming along really, really sweetly? I am so happy with this. It's pretty, it's layered. I love the colors, and I'm having so much fun making it. So yeah. This is turning out to be a very successful page. I'm already feeling it. Let's take another stamp. We will add that as well, just as a layer. Doesn't have to actually mean anything to the page. For example, look at the butterfly over there. I'm not thinking, oh, there wasn't actually a butterfly on that day. Doesn't matter. I'm adding it anyway. I think we did see a bunny. You tend to see a lot of bunnies around Disney. There's a lot of Disney bunnies hopping around, especially in the green areas. And like I said, we were by the golf course here, so it was very green, very pretty. And it's mad. We see wild bunnies everywhere, don't we? But when you see them in Disney, for some reason, it's really exciting. And I don't know why. Everyone loves a Disney bunny. Right, next up, let's go on to this greetings card. Again, another card that I didn't want to waste. It was just too pretty. And I loved all the yellow flowers. I knew I would end up cutting them out one day. So I'm going to do a little bit of fussy cutting. I'm not going to go crazy, sort of quite relaxed with it, but I really, really love these yellows. And again, it's given me the autumnal vibe, even though they look like buttercups or something, which is so not autumn. Mind you, saying that, I said before we're in spring. This card is an Easter card, so I guess it goes well with that. But even still, it's given me autumn vibes with the yellows. I really, really like it. So I'm actually going to fussy cut a whole load out and use them as embellishments on the page. This can be really handy when you've got greetings cards. Really have a think about how you can use them so that you don't waste them. Get your craft punches out. That would be really cool on this one, actually. If I had a circular punch, I could actually punch out some of the flowers on there. They would be circular. That would be really pretty, especially like with like a wording sticker, little strip sticker over the top or something. Really like that. So have a little think, get creative with how you can use your greetings cards. Cut them up, you can cut them into tags. That could look really pretty. And then you could even cover the back like what I did with the clothing tags there as well, and use those. But there's so many different ways that you can use greeting cards, and you don't even have to use them in your journal. I know a lot of people purposely turn them into gift tags as well. That's another really popular way to use them. I'd love to hear actually, how do you get creative with your cards? Do you reuse yours? And actually, if you have a handmade card, do you keep them intact or do you reuse those too? Do you ever take any of the bits and pieces off? I've never done that. It would seem really wrong. But if somebody wanted to, and if it was a card that I sent to somebody and they did that, I would not feel upset at all. I would be quite happy that they're able to reuse it. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Would you actually do that to a handmade card, or do you also keep them intact? Or do you see it as a way of simply reusing them? This would also make a really pretty bookmark, actually, wouldn't it? Do you know, the other thing is actually, I've quite fancied copying how these are done and actually making my own watercolour flowers. They are so pretty. I didn't think about that before. That would be really nice. But I think the yellows are going to look really, really pretty on this page. And I'm just going to stick them on and just pop them onto the journal page and have a little look. I'll be finishing up with the journaling a little bit later. I think it's also important to actually have a think about how you're storing these pieces as well, because sometimes I keep things and I think, oh, I'll use that another time, but then I end up not using it, and it could be months, ages, goodness knows how much later, and I look in my box and I've got so much stuff. So I think it's important to revisit these things. It's great to keep things and think, oh, I'll use that. But sometimes you kind of need to have an idea how you're going to use it. You don't always have those ideas straight away. Like me looking at this card, I knew I'd want to use it. The colours were just so perfect, but I wasn't sure how. So now, obviously, a few months later, I'm cutting it up to use on this journal spread. So, but what I am being a bit more conscious of these days is actually going through my junk boxes, having a sort out, and if I haven't used things, I'm sort of like a few months later thinking, right, will I actually use it? Something that we did speak about in this journal, in this Zoom session today, was actually gifting things. That's another way of not wasting things. So rather than just have a huge amount accumulating in your craft space, have a think about if any of your friends would be able to possibly use it better than what you are. If you're not using it at all and it's just collecting dust, have a look and think if any of your craft friends would make better use of it. And I love the idea of, somebody left a comment on one of my YouTube channels recently, and funnily enough I mentioned it in the Zoom today, and Leanna said exactly the same about having little wallets, or the person that left a comment said about envelopes with people's names on, and actually collect bits and pieces. So as you're going through your things, if you've got something maybe Disney, you might think, oh, my friend so-and-so would absolutely love that. You pop it into an envelope. If it's something with gardening, for example, Leanna's doing her gardening journal at the moment, you'd think, oh, she would love that. That would be so useful for her journal. You can pop it into an envelope. And then after a while, you might have the perfect little Happy Mail pouch to be able to gift to a friend with bits and pieces that would be absolutely perfect for them. So I think this is another way of not wasting things, actually re-gifting things. I think that's the perfect way, especially as a lot of these things, a lot of us, we keep things because we know that things are too good to be binned. So it's a way, we don't want to waste them, we don't want to get rid of them, but we're not actually using them ourselves, which is equally wasteful sometimes. And that's also when we end up with a bit of a hoarding problem. So maybe give this idea a little bit of a go. Just going around here with my black pen. I like doing this to finish things off. To me, it just always looks finished. And I'm going to go around the outside of the flowers with a little doodly edge as well. And again, it's just my way of just finishing things off. I love doing this, I really do. Are you a doodler too? Let me know. I love it when I see other people's work and they've got like different colours and they've journaled in different colours and things, and I always think, oh, that looks so nice. But whenever I do it, I don't know, it just doesn't feel quite right or look quite right. For me, it needs to be a black pen. Even like doing the pretty pinks and the greens and all that, it just doesn't look quite right when I do it, even though I love it on other people's pages. It's funny how that happens sometimes, how you can love something what somebody else does, you try and recreate it, but it just doesn't sit right with you, it doesn't feel right. I'm so happy that I added all these yellow flowers. They are looking so pretty, and I'm loving the black outline. I think this page is really coming together now. I'm really happy with how this is looking, and it's been a really lovely craft session. So I'm enjoying this very much this afternoon. It was just what I needed today. So the following day, I love doing this. I know I've said this before. I love stepping away and coming back and seeing things with new eyes. So I've had some ideas. I have decided to try and use the word happy. I'm going to cut this out of here. I thought this could work really nicely. I love the colours. I think they go really well. Obviously, we're not having Easter, although it wasn't far off Easter, but it wasn't Easter, so we can't include Easter. But I'm wondering if... oh, I quite like that actually. And you know, we don't actually need that, although I've... or that would work like that. How about we half stick this on so it's like that, so it does pop out, so I can write on it on the back if I want to. I don't know, I'm having a think about that at the moment. So do I need it to? I do quite like the thought of it being there like that. Do I just pop it in so it's permanently in there? What do you think? I don't know. I quite like this little safety pin that's on here. Might just do that actually. I might actually just keep them permanently in. As long as I've got somewhere for the journaling, which is here. I accidentally cut this and didn't realise that it opens up. I might actually do that, do you know? Oh, I've got a photo on there, though I can't. Okay, that answers that one. But that can pop out. I'm going to permanently stick this in, I think, because I like how that looks. How did we have it like that? I really like that, but I can still then use this to see the photo of Aid sat there. Yes, that is good. I'm happy with that. The other things I was thinking about, right, I really love the pink here, and I'd like to bring it onto the page over here, and I actually thought about adding it as a tab. So I thought of stapling that on there, just purely because I want to add more bits and pieces like that. And then I also thought I've got this little piece here as well. I quite like the idea of also adding that on there. Or do I add it this side actually? I don't know, I quite like the idea of it here. I like that little sewn piece there. That is so cute. There. And we've got two pieces that stick out. Yeah, I'm going to leave those like that. I also thought about the orange piece here. So I'm going to cut that out and use that as well, just purely because the colours go really, really well, no other reason. So I need to decide where that is going. Oh, I quite like it down there to add a little bit of colour. It's amazing, isn't it, how these little pieces of yellow, what a difference they make. Those are cute, and I think we can, oh, I have got a tiny one here. Let's do this one as well. I was going to say we can finally throw this in the bin. I think we've done well with this packaging here, and like I said, this is 2011. I've had this for a long time. It's been kicking around, and finally it's been used. Right, a little bit of glue on here. Let's do that. Cute. Now the other thing, actually let's bin that now, we don't need that one. I did also have these, I quite like the numbers down below. I do quite like those colours as well. Actually, I was thinking about adding the cups. I'm going to add two. I'm actually saying that we shared a drink between us. I'm going to do two, I think, because there was two of us. So let's cut these little ones out. These were from my daily to-do list. The idea is obviously to make sure you're hydrating and you're drinking your cups of water each day, but we were actually sharing. It was a bit of a meal deal, a Disney meal deal. It was a beer, and it was a really, really good price actually. This is what I want to journal about, the best tuna sandwich I have ever had. And I think it was like $12 for the great big sandwich, which was made to order. I don't know if I like them down there actually. There we go. Bag of Lay's crisps, they're like Walker's ready salted, and the beer, and that was like $12. So what was that, about £9, which I think is really, really good. And the sandwich is massive. It's so good, and it's fresh bread. It's with huge great big pieces of lettuce and tomato. It's so good. Yeah, we actually hunted that down. A lot of the places aren't selling it anymore, so we purposely found it in a little cafe in one of the resorts and went and purposely went there to have it. That's how much we love that sandwich. Right, what have we not used? We haven't used the envelope, but that's fine. I use that another day. I've really gone to town on these to-do lists, done ever so well with the Easter card. Still some bits left on the envelope, but I'll keep those. And I've got a couple of other to-do lists. My oven is going because my bread is baking. Let me go and get that out of the oven, and I'll be straight back. Now, I kind of feel this is done. I'm happy with this. This, however, I still feel I want to do something. I do quite like the idea of maybe adding a little bit of the pink above, although this is actually now a pocket. Let's keep that for something else. I like that. I love the fact that I didn't realise, because I'd obviously cut the paper bag down, I forgot that it would open. It wasn't until I lifted my journal to show everyone what I'd been doing on Zoom that it opened. I thought, oh gosh, that's just going to fall out. Then I thought, well, I'll stick it. But I love the fact that it opens, and that's a really good place for journaling. So we've got this. So I need to do something to also secure it, whether or not it's a paper clip. I'm just grabbing a really big one, but that actually could work quite well. Let me go and see what I can find. These camera clips, right, I think the rose gold over everything. I wonder if actually having this clipped onto the page, what's the best way to do this? I want it so it still looks like a camera. Sometimes I'm not very good at doing things like this. Right, that seems to open out like that. How does this work? I don't know. It's supposed to be sideways, I think. Right, I don't know if this will work, especially as I've got pom-pom trim the other side. No, that's not really not wanting to work. I do quite like the clip though. Right, let's see if we can actually get the clip to work first, so I can decide how to use it. Okay, that's how it works. So it's more of a sideways. Oh, actually, okay, I think it's going to be too faffy. It's a thick page. I've got a pom-pom trim on there and it needs to work. Right, yeah, I think that's too faffy for this. Could I get it to work somewhere else though? Or do I just keep it for another page? Yeah, that's kind of lost a bit there. Got this arrow one. I've used these a few times. They're really handy because they're quite chunky. So like that just stays on. Love that. That is the answer to my problems. Okay. So I think I am ready to journal. I feel like I want to add some colour up here. I don't know. Oh, there's a little bumblebee there. Let's pop that on there. Yeah, let's get some journaling done and then we'll have a rethink. This has worked out so well. So all my journaling is there. I've popped this here as well, which can hide in there. And it's just basically about our sandwich and this secret little cafe in Disney World. It's so secluded. We love it. That works out perfectly. I love this. And then I just feel like I want to do something. Do you know what I might do? This is an idea. Grab out my pen set. You know, I said I wanted something up here. Let's do it with a thicker one. Let's do... Because I was thinking about adding a little trim, but actually I might... I'm going to add that instead, as if it's a little trim. Because I was thinking about maybe doing some punches and adding some bits, but it might get a little bit fiddly. Sometimes I forget to use my pens for doodling and decorating, but sometimes it's the easiest thing. I'm not adding any extra sort of volume to the journal at all. I just wanted a little bit of colour. Let's do that. And then, because it doesn't overly show up, it just looks like a yellow bit there. So if I then go around like that, and that now shows up a little bit better and you can actually see the shape, which I really like. This is really cute. And that way I can still see the cute. I didn't want to hide Mickey and Minnie, especially as we're in Disney. They're perfect there. And the idea was the colour matched the piece that's down the side as well. I'm loving how this has ended up turning out, and all from me finding a load of bits and pieces that were just waste scraps. It's amazing what you can do sometimes, isn't it? There, I like that. I might actually continue that over here a little bit, just so that it kind of like fits in with the theme and it ties all in nicely. Let's see how that looks now. I think it's really important sometimes to do things like that on both sides of the page to tie it in. That is so cute. I love that. That is my finished page, I've decided. So we've got this bit here which opens out, which was a paper bag that had been sent to me and had been used, and we've still got a tiny little bit left to use for a pocket. I've got 3 clothing tags. I've got my to-do lists. I've got stamps and bits and pieces and stickers from an envelope. I have got the Easter card there as well. I've done really well, haven't I? That other little brown bag. I have used up so much. I am so pleased. I love the addition of the stamps as well. Yeah, really happy with that. It might go down as one of my favourite pages I've done for quite some time. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this has left you feeling inspired, and just to go and grab a few pieces of paper as well, or scraps, basically just a few bits and pieces, and let yourself be inspired. Sometimes you can just have too much going on, too many choices, too many things on your desk. You just want to break it down and grab a few things. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you in a new video on Monday. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.